Hey, what's going on, my peoples? Welcome to Information TV, NFTV. I'm your host, 44K. The K stand for King K. Today, we're going to touch on the topic of what is woke. Woke is something, it's a polarizing topic that's going on. It's 2023 going into the next presidential election in 2024. That's going to be something major that's talked about between Democratic and Republican candidates. The reason why is a lot of people on the right feel like woke has gone too far. Woke has started to radicalize a lot of businesses, radicalize a lot of schools, radicalize our justice system, and it's starting to even affect capitalism, the free market. So we have a candidate here who's running for president, and he talks about this, and he actually gives a pretty good definition of what it is. A lot of people don't know exactly what the definition is. The definition could vary between parties. So he's going to give a definition. We're going to stop periodically. We're going to have a conversation about it. But once again, before we even get started on that video, please like, subscribe, share this video with a friend. Get down in that comment section. Let's start building rapport. Let's connect. Like-minded people, because I'm just somebody that likes to talk politics. I'm somebody that likes to talk popular culture. I'm somebody that likes to connect with people. So I would love if you share this video, if you get down in the comments, kick it with me, and we just, we can discuss and we can have a dialogue. So I appreciate that. But without further ado, let's check this video out.
Refers to becoming alert to invisible societal injustices, generally based on genetically inherited characteristics like race, sex, and sexual orientation, and then being called upon to act on those injustices using whatever potential legally means are necessary, including the market, to do it. That's a neutral definition that even most proponents of wokeism in the United States would agree with. Now,
So when he's talking about his definition of woke, there are injustices in the world. There are marginalized groups in the world. These things do exist. But the problem with wokeism is the fact that it's getting out of control, to the fact that it's so much complaining being done. It's so many different factions and segments of marginalized groups due to intersectionality and other things like that, that is starting to prevent people from getting work done. And then you have these so-called woke groups who are very active in terms of knowing how to use the internet, knowing how to format groups, galvanize groups to then call other companies, get people removed off advertisements, get people fired, intimidate people, and then that's when it becomes a danger. But let's continue on with the video.
criticism of this is I think that it's inherently divisive to tell us that we're nothing more than the characteristics we inherit on the day we're born. That divides us on the basis of race and sex and sexual orientation. And then when that merges with capitalism, which is what I've actually been the biggest critic of, what it does is we lose the sanctuary, the apolitical sanctuary in our economy that otherwise brings us together, whether we're black or white, even.
So this is another aspect of it that gets overlooked a little bit. You have a situation where you have people, be it if you're born white in America, black in America, Arabic in America, Arab in America, Chinese, whatever it is. That's something we didn't choose. That's something that we were born into this world as. And a lot of you might have seen a viral video earlier about a young lady that was on TikTok saying that if you're white, within all white people are racist because they were born into the Western civilization. And if you're a white person within Western civilization, that automatically makes you racist. That's what he's talking about. That's how divisive it is. So in the civil rights movement and these movements, which diversity, equity, and inclusion, is supposed to be something that brings people together. But wokeism has in turn caused these cliques, caused these fashions to where people are more segregated and more isolated than ever before, but underneath the guise of diversity and equity and inclusion. So it's actually doing the opposite on what it was intended to do. So how do we address that? Because we can't even come together under us all being American anymore. You have certain people under the woke banner who tear down America over what happened hundreds of years ago. Now we can learn from history, but you don't have to take history from the past and make it so present to where you're trying to right yesterday's wrongs through the lenses of today. And that's where the danger of this wokeism come into play. But let's continue on with the video.
Whether we're Democrat or Republican, that's one of the underappreciated reasons why capitalism has to stay apolitical. And I'm proud to say I've been the leader on leading that fight over the course of the last couple of years, and with some progress, because I think we're turning the tide where companies are realizing that they're not doing good for themselves or even do.
So when he's saying that capitalism needs to stay apolitical, and companies need to stay apolitical, they need to be neutral. They don't need to get involved either way. Their duty is to the shareholders. Their duty is to their employees. Their duty is to produce a product that is profitable. And if it's a publicly traded company, you have a fiduciary responsibility to your shareholders. But if you are out here just picking up the mantra and jumping on the bandwagon of whatever's in vogue for whatever woke situation it is, be it Black Lives Matter, be it transgenderism, be it LGBT, be it whatever it might be, if every company is, they're noticing, okay, we can make a little bit of money if we jump on this bandwagon, we jump on that bandwagon, you're isolating yourself from the masses. And then that ends up causing a problem, because you're going to have people who don't necessarily agree with that, and then they're going to boycott that, and then that damages, your reputation with some customers who might not agree with that, and then you're not providing you're not meeting your fiduciary responsibilities to your shareholders. It's causing issues within the company, because people are feeling bullied, people are feeling pressure to align with those values and different things like that, when instead you should just concentrate on what your duty is as a company and provide either that product or service that's needed from that company, or that's wanted from that company.
Doing good for society by engaging in these fraught political and social questions. And I think we're beginning to see that change of the tide.
So I'm not going to torture Buddy name, but his name is Vivek. That's his last name. Younger candidate, running as a Republican presidential candidate. Definitely somebody that I'm paying attention to. Somebody who's been on a press tour over the last couple weeks, but he's going on these major news networks, these legacy media networks, and he's holding his own. That's what I've noticed over these past 2 weeks. He's holding his own. He's not getting angry. He's not name calling. He has a position that he's taking, and he's willing to stand 10 toes down on that position, but he can articulate it in a way to where you have to respect it. You have to respect it. And this is how politics is supposed to be. You're supposed to have a position. You're supposed to be able to articulate your position. You're supposed to be able to argue the facts of that position. And then you present that to an audience that might not be receptive to that position. But if you are able to articulate it in a fashion where it grabs their ear and it grabs their attention, you might gain a vote. But the divisive nature over the last 8 years with the presidency, in different elections is gotten out of control, where it's like it was Bloods versus Crips. Like, it's a beef, and we can't meet any compromise. But a compromise has to be met by both sides if we're going to benefit as the populace as a whole. So I appreciate y'all checking in with me. I appreciate y'all just tapping these videos, liking, subscribing, sharing, getting down in those comments, man. Because it's slow roll is better than no roll. So like I said, each and every day I'm going to get better at these videos. Each and every day I'm going to bring you information, because this is Information TV, and I definitely want you guys to get down in those comments so that we can talk about it. We can build a community organically, and then we can have fun with it. Peace.